Hey everybody, me and Tom are out here and we're measuring this swimming pool here for a liner replacement. It's a rectangle pool with vinyl liner covered stairs, and measuring the liner for the stairs is going to be a little tricky, but um, so when I'm coming to measure for a liner, the first thing that I like to do is to make notes of main drains and return fixtures and what types of skimmers we have and lights that we have. So here underneath we have a Hayward light faceplate. Usually you'll see Sunlight's, Pentair's, and Hayward's. Um, Basically, I've just learned over the years how to tell the difference between them. So we have a 1085 skimmer. So I'll write that on my slip that we have a 1085 Hayward skimmer. Typically, again, you would have a wide mouth or a small mouth skimmer. 1084, 1085. Sometimes you have jacuzzi skimmers, different types of other skimmers, but typically it's either a wide mouth or a small mouth. So now I'll go around and kind of count how many pull returns I have. I got two in the deep end, and looks like I got one in the stairs, so a total of three pull returns. And one other thing that I noticed was that we have a low wall intake right here in the middle of the pool, so we'll write that we have a low wall. Other things to notice are if the pool has like a safety ledge going around the perimeter, which is basically like a little step that you would have. This pool does not have a safety ledge, so I just write that there's no safety ledge. There's no main drain at the bottom of the pool. I write that we have liner steps. So those are just some of the notes that we make. So now I'll flip over to my rectangle liner measure sheet, and basically one of the first things that they're asking for you is what type of corner we have on the pool here. Usually you would have a square corner, a diagonal corner, a radius. Here we have a radius, and these are 2-foot radius corners. And basically, the way that you can figure out the radius is where the wall starts to bend right here. You measure over where the wall starts to go bend here, and that's 2 feet right there. So this is a 2-foot radius. And usually you would have like a 6-inch radius or a 4-foot radius or 3-foot radiuses I've even seen. So we make a little note that that's a 2-foot radius. And so now I'm going to ask my camera guy Tom to hold the tape measure and record at the same time, which is going to be great. Fun to see how this is going to look. But we're going to check the width of the pool, so he'll hold me on the face of the wall right there. I'm going to guess that this is going to be 18 feet wide. And I'm wrong. It's actually 1511. So let's check it down here in the shallow end, and we'll see. I was a little wrong. I thought this was an 1836, but I guess it's a 1632 maybe. Okay, so I'm getting 1511. All right, Tom, if you could go down and we'll check the length now. And just hold me right underneath the where the wall's kind of straight there. Great job. Holding the tape measure and the camera all in one shot. 32. All right. Normally it would be a 1632. But when I was measuring, I was getting 1511 on the width, so that's the measurement we're going to go with, is 1511, 32 on the length. And basically we just write that into our spots here, 15 foot 11 inches. All right, so now that we've done that, we have to measure the interior of the pool. We need to give them the shallow end, the front slope, the pad length, the back slope, the side slope, the pad width. So we got to go and we got to figure all those out. So basically those are numbers that we need to figure out. There's a lot of different techniques on how to do this. One way that I like to do it is by, one, when you can see the pool, that really helps. And I can tell that that break down there, I can tell just by kind of eyeing that up that we're going to be right there. And so I'll make a little mark right there with my chalk. And I can see the old seam on the liner that follows all the way up to the wall here. So I just kind of follow that up. I make a little mark. And basically I'm just kind of marking out where all the break points are. And this one's just right there. So I'll check these side ones too. We'll go off and we'll do that first. So, basically I'll just take my tape measure. And, so I'm eyeing it down. I can kind of tell where it's going to be. I'm looking at the tape measure. And it looks like it wants to be 4 feet. But being that we're not actually a true 16 wide, we want to make sure that our math adds up. So we're going to make it 3 foot 11 and a half. And I'm pretty sure that subtracts an inch from everything, and that'll give us an even measurement on the pad width here. So 3 foot 11 and a half for our side slopes. 3 foot 11 and a half for our side slopes. And that'll give me terrible with math sometimes, but 7 feet, I think, right? So 7 feet even should be the width of that. So, I know it sounds silly, but sometimes if you're really doubting yourself, you just come to a tape measure, and so we have 11 and a half. So we'll add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. So that's 22 and a half, right? 22, 23 inches. 1 foot, 11 inches. So come to my thing here. We have 6, 7. I'm not sure that the math is all adding up right there. So I think it's actually 8 feet here. 8 feet. So now, because 11 and a half and 11 and a half is 1 foot 11. So we add the 1. We have 6, 7, 15. Everything adds up. So we're good there. So Tom, if you can hold me on this mark right here. This is what, we're doing things raw and unedited here. And you're seeing me, figure out my math on the fly. All right, 14-foot walk up, which is pretty common in the swimming pool business. So now we'll try to measure our pad length here, which is going to be 6 foot. Our back slope is most likely going to be 4 foot. So we'll kind of check that off of our back wall here, eye it down. And and again, if I couldn't see what I was doing, I'd be, I'd have my vac pole or some sort of, gauge and figuring that out a little differently. But being that I can see exactly what's going on, that helps tremendously. So now, this is probably going to be 8 feet. So that's our shallow end is 8 feet. And obviously I want to go through, now that I've got all that written down, I want to go through and I just want to check and make sure that all those numbers that I wrote down are adding up to my 32-foot length, which they do. 8 foot, 14 foot is 22, plus another 10 for the pad length and the back slope, which is 10, 32 feet. So we're almost done, and basically what I need to do here is measure the depth of the pool. So I got my Fat Max tape measure here. I'm able to just kind of, I always take my depth measurements in the center here. We're right on the bottom of the floor. We're coming up to about 93 inches. And I'm looking at the water line to the top of the coping there, and that looks about 3 inches, which would add up to 96, which would make it an 8 feet deep pool. And that's what we're going to go with. You know, I'm not going to, if it looks like it's a little more, I really don't want to add that in there. I'd rather the liner had a little bit of room to stretch. So basically all we got to do now is just measure these stairs. And in order to do that, what we need to do is make a little drawing of the stairs. So I'll make a note on the bottom of my measure sheet to flip it over for stairs. And these companies have gotten used to my drawings and my measurements and things like that. I'm not the best artist in the world. Alright, so I do 2 dotted lines. Make my stairs, top of pool. This will be my height measurement. So we got our 3 treads. Label this treads. 4 risers. Risers. Now it's important that your riser measurements add up to your wall height. That's super important. And your treads would add up to your setback measurement here. So now what I'll do is I'll just kind of draw out the stairs. Now it's real important right here to note that there's a diagonal corner right here, which is going to create like a little recess. So I have to make sure that I specify that diagonal on my print. Okay, so this is shallow, facing deep. Alright, so our top step, these are 6-inch radius corners right here. And again, the way you can tell is, like I was saying, is you take the measure from the straight, where that comes straight, 6 feet. So or 6 inches rather. So it's a 6-inch radius top step. Okay. So now this is the front edge of the stair on my drawing. We have 3 stairs. So we got to give them the width of the stairs. We want to give them the width setback of the stairs. We want to tell them the diagonal distance. And then we'll draw a dotted line from the face. This is going to be called a recess. So we have to give them that measurement as well. So these are all things that, you know, and it'd be nice if I actually had some of these already pre-made, ready to go. Every job I have to make one of these. It's no big deal. Alright, so I'm going to ask Tom to hold me with his tape measure right on the wall there. I'm going to come in and I'm getting 8 feet. So the width of these stairs is going to be 8 feet. So I'll write that in there. This diagonal distance right here is 5.5 inches. Let me check this side over here because it was close to 5 1/4, and I just want to make sure. Yeah, see, this one's closer to 5 1/4 too. So we're gonna be precise, and our diagonal distance here is going to be 5 1/4 inches. Now we got to figure out how much our recess is here. So, you know, I'll just take a straight edge right here and kind of hold it on there, and I can kind of measure off of that. And I'm getting 4 1/4. It's kind of what it wants to be, but alright, so that measurement, we're gonna have to come back to that measurement, and there's a reason why, but alright, so coming out to our wall, this whole measurement here is gonna be 48 inches or 4 feet. So now what I'll do is I'll kind of check and I'll see if I can figure out the treads on these stairs. And that one is showing 14 inches. So if I take 14, 14, and 14, add them all together, I think I get 42 inches. If I was, so I would, that recess would have to be, it's a little bit more than that. So things aren't really adding up right there. So we're gonna have to just kind of get creative and cross-checking things, and I think it could be closer to 46 inches, and that would be a lot closer to the number that I'm looking for, because this number was pretty close to 4 inches. So if I take 14, 14, 14, this is 42, that gives me the 46 inches. And 46 inches, that's where I'm going to want to be. Okay, so not sure any of that made sense. Not sure too much of this is going to make it on the video, but 46 inches. So our treads are going to be 14 inches. Our recess is going to be 4 inches. Okay, so now the only other measurement that we have left to do is our risers. So what I'll do is I'll kind of check what the shallow end depth is right here. And it looks, so we're trying 40 inches. So basically we're trying to add up to 40 inches going by 4. And again, it helps when you can see the bottom of your tape measure. You know, another way is measuring from the floor to the water and subtracting the difference that way. But I think what we're going to be having is 10 and a half, 10 and a half, and 10 and a half. And then on the bottom down there is going to be 8.5, and that will all total up to 40 inches. It just helps that I've seen a lot of these pools. You know, you may be trying to measure a pool for your first time, and just be as precise as you can. You know, it just, for me, I've just seen a lot of these before, and I kind of know what to expect. And when I see that things are getting where I need to be, that's what I go with. So that's it. I mean, we've just basically measured this 1632 rectangle pool with vinyl liner stairs. We measured it for a new liner replacement. And that's it. I'm Steve Got It Pool. That's Tom on the camera. Have a good day.